You know that feeling when you're staring at a math word problem and it feels less like math and more like, well, like you're trying to decipher some ancient secret code? Yeah, you are absolutely in the right place. Because it turns out that's kind of what you're doing. And today, we're going to crack that code wide open. So why is that? Why do they feel so tricky? You see phrases like a number or at least, and suddenly the simple math you know just seems to disappear behind this wall of words. It's a super common feeling, but you know what? There's a really simple reason for it. And here it is. This is the big secret. They feel like riddles because they are a different language. So the key isn't just to be good at math. The first step is to become a translator. So this is the big idea we're diving into. Word problems get a whole lot easier once you stop seeing them as just English sentences. You've got to start translating them into the language of math, a language made of symbols and variables and operators for things like plus, minus, or greater than. Now, just to give you the full picture, the source material we're working from frames this whole idea in a pretty specific way. It draws a parallel between solving these problems and how, in its words, Bible heroes face decisions with clear limits or goals. And that idea really sets up a key difference between two types of mathematical language. So it's really important to understand these two dialects of math. On one hand, you have equations. They're all about a fixed goal, a single exact answer. But then you have inequalities, and they're about limits and possibilities, a whole range of potential answers. Honestly, the best way to get this is just to see it in action. Okay, let's open up our first case file, the simple equation. Our mission here is to find one specific, totally correct answer. So here it is, our first puzzle. It looks pretty simple, but don't be fooled. Inside this one little sentence are all the clues we're going to need for our translation. And just watch how cleanly this all breaks down. First, we translate each part. A number, that's our mystery, our unknown, so we'll call it x. Plus 5 is easy, that's just plus 5. And equals 12 gives us our equals 12. Now that it's in the language of math, all we have to do is solve for x. It's as simple as that. And there we have it, the solution. The number is 7, one specific answer for a fixed goal. Case closed. All right, let's move on. Time for our second case file. This time, we're not looking for just a single answer. We are officially entering the world of limits, or as they're known in math class, inequalities. Here's our next puzzle, and the key clue, the phrase you need to zero in on is less than. That little phrase is our signal that we have left the world of single answers far behind. You know, the translation process works exactly the same way. 3 times a number becomes 3x. That key phrase, is less than, translates directly into this symbol right here, less than. And from there, the steps are pretty familiar. Just isolate x to find our solution. So notice this. This is really important. The solution isn't just one number. It's a whole range of possibilities. Any number that's less than 5, so 4, 2, even negative 100, makes that original sentence totally true. Okay, for our final case file, we're going to look at a different kind of limit. This time, it's not a ceiling, it's a floor. We're setting a minimum value. All right, here's our final problem. The critical phrase this time is at least. So how do we translate that into the language of math? Well, it translates to greater than or equal to, which looks like this little symbol, greater than or equal to. That means our number can be exactly 3, or it can be anything bigger. Once we've got that translation down, the process is exactly the same. We translate the whole sentence, isolate our variable, and crack our final case. So there it is. Our number can be exactly 12, or it can be any number higher than 12. We've defined the absolute minimum possible value for our unknown. Okay, so you've seen the translation process in action. You're starting to speak the language. Now, it's your turn to be the translator. Here are 5 brand new challenges. Look for those key phrases we've been practicing. Words like equals, more than, at least. Go ahead and pause the explainer right here and see if you can translate and solve them for yourself. All right, let's see how you did. Each one of those sentences translates into either a nice, clean equation or an inequality. Take a second to check your work. How did you do translating those trickier phrases like at least or at most? And to wrap this all up, the source material this explainer is based on finishes with this verse. It's meant to connect that idea of having a plan or a clear goal right back to the mathematical concepts we've just been talking about. And that really brings us to a final thought. This skill, the ability to take a messy, wordy problem and translate it into its clear, logical parts, it goes way beyond math, right? It kind of leaves us with a question. What are the word problems in your own life that make it just a little bit easier if you just learned how to translate them? Thanks for watching.